My husband's mistress showed up at our anniversary dinner to apologize. I thanked her and left them both stunned. The waiter had just poured our champagne when I noticed her walking toward our table. Vanessa from my husband's marketing department, the woman whose name appeared in text messages I wasn't supposed to see. The reason our bedroom had felt cold for months. I recognized her immediately from her palatial photo, which I'd studied for hours after discovering their affair 3 weeks ago. She looked smaller in person, nervous in her designer dress as she approached our corner table at the restaurant David had chosen for our 10th anniversary. "Excuse me," she said, voice trembling slightly. "I am so sorry to interrupt." David's face drained of color. "Vanessa, what are you doing here?" His voice cracked, confirming everything I already knew. I stayed perfectly still, my grandmother's pearls suddenly heavy against my collarbone. 10 years of marriage crystallized into the single surreal moment under the restaurant's dim lighting. "I came to apologize," she announced, eyes darting between us. "I can't keep living with this guilt. He told me you were separated, that you were just keeping up appearances until after the holidays." She turned to me, tears forming. "When I saw your anniversary post today, I realized he'd been lying to us both." The restaurant seemed to fall silent, though I knew it was just the blood rushing in my ears. David started stammering explanations, but I raised my hand to stop him. "Thank you, Vanessa," I said quietly, surprising myself with my steady voice. "I appreciate your honesty." I turned to David, whose face had transformed from shock to pleading desperation. "You've been distant for months. I thought it was work stress or depression. I scheduled couples therapy appointments you kept canceling." I blamed myself for not being enough. I placed my napkin on the table and stood smoothing my dress, the one I'd spent weeks selecting for this milestone we'd never truly reach. "I've already moved half our savings to my personal account," I told him calmly. "Not out of spite, but because finding an apartment in the city requires a significant deposit. The divorce papers are in the blue folder on your desk, next to the fertility test results, showing T. Here's nothing wrong with either of us. We just wasted my best reproductive years on your indecision." Vanessa's mouth fell open. David started to stand, but I shook my head. "Stay seated," consippling to the meal. "It's already paid for." The reservation was hard to get. I picked up my champagne flute, took a single sip, and set it down. "The oysters here are excellent, though I am told they're an aphrodisiac, so perhaps that's redundant for you too." I turned to Vanessa, whose tears were now flowing freely. "He snores terribly, by the way, and he'll forget your birthday, but expect you to remember his parents' anniversary. Small price to pay for someone who makes you feel chosen, I suppose." I walked out of that restaurant with my head high past curious diners and whispered conversations. More than they found. I'd share I'd presciently scheduled for 20 minutes after our reservation time. When people ask what happened to my marriage, I don't mention the affair. I simply tell them I finally chose myself over someone who never really chose me at all. Sometimes the most devastating revenge isn't making a scene. It's showing someone exactly what they're losing while walking away with your dignity intact.